Hello friends and welcome to episode 50 of the Krastorio series. So happy anniversary, dear series. We're running today into a new chapter and that's going to be the nuclear age. I've set up everything I needed so far. We have the reactors. I hope I have enough room in my inventory. It doesn't seem like I do. Oh man, there's so much stuff in my pockets. Well, we're going to take care of that, and today we're going to build nuclear power. Boom, just like that. Because it's about time, I think. So first off, let's empty the pockets a little bit. Oh, well, those circuits, all those ores and stuff. I mean, I could transport them where they are needed, but I could just also dump them into a box and just forget that they ever existed. It's a little bit sad that Factorio does that at some point with me, but well, I need logistic robots, and I don't know how the heck to set them up, but we're going to get to that one day soon. Today, it's about nuclear energy, one problem at a time. So let's pick up the parts. I already made the decision to go for a reactor setup, which will bring which will be featuring 4 reactors. So that's that. For 4 reactors, we're going to need 48 heat exchangers, 12 per machine. We're going to need also a lot of turbines. Those steam turbines, we're going to need way more than 10. I'm going to need about, well, the exact number is 83 for that setup, 4, 6, 8. But, well, it's hard to pull that off symmetrically. So I went for some research while going for this kind of setup because the math behind the reactors, well, it's not overly complicated or insane or anything like that, but it's quite nice if you have people that do the math for you, and there are really good info portals out there. If you look up Factorio nuclear power on Google, you really get hooked up with good stuff. So let's check out how I can do more room in my inventory. I really want to free up as much space as possible before I go for the planning now. So a reactor complex is quite a big thing to build. My uranium production is running down here. So overall, I won't be able to produce the reactor around there because there's just simply not enough room for that. So what are my options? I could build the nuclear power plant over here. I think that's the best spot to take. The other option would be to take some room over here, but that's going to be pretty far away. This spot down here has 2 good advantages. First, it's pretty close to the uranium spot, and second, it has access to water, because water is very, very important when we go for nuclear energy as well. So let's hope everything will work out fine. It's my first nuclear power setup ever. So a railgun turret is now available. Man, that sounds fancy. So railgun shells are pretty costly, but we will produce some. We will definitely produce some. I can't wait to try that one out. So what I'm going to research next: effect transmission for the beacons, advanced additional electric engine. So that would make my vehicles quicker. Well, I don't know if I really want quicker vehicles. Quantum computer. Yeah, so what the hell does that thing do? Building to create endgame tech cards and research data, I see. So I don't think that I'm ready for the quantum computer technology yet. We're going to dig through the little technology packs here next. Alright, let's go. Why there's so little copper on this belt? Well, they're just producing like crazy, that's why. So let's check out the ore belts. There's everything fine on that end. Okay, I just noticed that I forgot a very, very important piece of gear. And that's the heat pipes. Or didn't I produce the heat pipes as well? Pretty sure I did. Don't I? Don't tell me that I didn't go for an automated heat pipe production there. They needed quartz and copper plates. Oh yeah, now I remember. I built that off-site. You see, that quick you get some chaos in your system. Only one thing that I built at a different spot already brings me like, So, from this stuff I'm going to pack a few more, because the heat pipes are basically your roads for the heat. Well, it'll make sense when we set up everything. So next up, we're going to need the uranium-235 for this situation. So wait a sec. Ah, I see. I only used the depleted rifle magazines. Okay. Just wondered what was happening there. So we're going to do the first thing here and get that stuff downwards where our nuclear reactors want to live, because this is the fuel for your nuclear reactors. Nuclear power works a lot like the steam engine. It's just a different material you use for combustion, basically. So let's let that stuff run over here. Well, I'm going to use that crossing here. Why not? So where we headed now is there. Okay, let's blast away some of that stuff here. Even out the field here. Looks like I need to craft myself a few new cliff explosives. Came quite far with that stuff, I'm gotta say though. So, oh man, I don't have any red belts in my pocket to fix that. No. Well, okay. So we're going to work here. So let's get the uranium production around there. Or, no, the uranium input, much more. Production is somewhere else. So we're going to do like that. Well, it's a shortcut for the deconstruction planner. Alt D. Okay. So I'm going to let the uranium line sit here for the time being, because I feel like that's more than enough already. So another thing that I want to do is to pipe out another supply of the uranium-238, because I have such plenty of that stuff that I think it's going to be a pretty smart idea to refine, to get that Kovarex refining. Oh man, it's so annoying. There we go. I want to do the Kovarex refining, but I want to do it in the vicinity of my nuclear power plant, because I always feel like this process is best done where it's actually matters, you see. So we're going to lead that stuff downwards to this direction as well. So we're preparing here now our system. I feel like I want to dive into more resource patches as well, because I have the slight feeling that I might be having not enough uranium for the long-term plans here, but I don't know. No, I want to have it down here. So just keep checking out if everything's holding up. One of the biggest advantages I see in the use of nuclear power lies in the massive amount of extra energy it will create. So let's run back to the chest. Stop hurting me. Pretty sure that there's some protective gear against that kind of stuff. It simply has to. But I'll also manage with just juggling the radioactive stuff away whenever the necessity arises. So there we go. So that's more like it. So the centrifuge here will refine that stuff. I don't know where it's going to live exactly, but I just want to drop it here as a reminder. The thing here is the Kovarex enrichment process transforms 3 units of uranium-238 into 1 unit of uranium-235. It's basically a loop cycle where you get the 30 uranium back, 30 uranium-235 back. So what do we have here? We can create tritium, which we will need for the fusion stuff later on. So uranium fuel cells. Why do I get the feeling that I need to produce uranium fuel cells here before I can do anything? Well, it's not the case. Okay, relieved. No, we're actually needing to produce uranium fuel cells. Oh, okay. I'm not sure if this is vanilla or not, because, like I said in the intro, it's my first nuclear power plant ever. But this makes the situation a little bit more complex. I just want to check out how my turrets are getting along here, but things are looking swell. Alright, so that'll mean we're going to have... Okay, we can dislodge used up uranium fuel cells, and we're going to get uranium-238 back, and we're going to get stone back. As a matter of fact... Wait a sec. Am I getting that right? How much uranium-238 does the fuel cell actually need? So we have to look it up here. So I'm getting the uranium-235 back completely. I just need an extra investment of uranium-238, interestingly. Because if we look at this here, these 6 units of uranium-238 will result in 2 new units of uranium-235. Wonderful. So that's that. Enjoy. So that basically means I will need not a centrifuge here, but much more a assembler to produce the wait a second, to produce the fuel cells that I need. So we're going to need some extra materials here. Okay, that works a little bit differently than I thought it would. No problem. So we're going to need steel plates. How annoying that is. I'm really needing some steel plates around here. So let's check that out. I'm pretty close to the iron hub. So I could just split off this. Yeah, we're going to split off some from here. It's a simple thing to do. So, since this is an output belt, it won't hurt the total amount of production too much, because I'm not using a terrible amount of steel plates. I'm not going to produce a terrible amount of steel plates anyway. So, wait a sec. Actually, no. It's not smart at all what I'm doing here. Just noticed. It would be way smarter, way smarter, if I would use what I have here. So I don't have a smelter in my pocket right now. I don't have stones available. Damn. That's where you... There's some stone. Good. Suddenly you're out of stone in the mid-game. Fascinating. Okay. So my idea just struck my eye that I have a very simple way of solving this problem. I can just drop down my furnaces here. So I'm going to use it there. Yeah, sure. Small electric poles. So we're going to need iron plates. And then we're going to need that. The setup here was 2 smelters per steel smelter. Okay. It's a good thing. Oh. I'm going to make it like that. So let's first off get those electric poles out of the game. We don't feed our smelters with electric poles, for the love of God. So we're going to make it like this. The steel plate recipe has to live here. So basically we're going to make it like that. Boom. Well, I think that would be enough. Boom, 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 boom. And it's that. Just a very, very crude application here, but it'll do the job quite perfectly. It's that. Let's power it up. So it turns out we're going to solve problems like that. Next up, I really need to get those power poles out of the game. We're not burning power poles. I repeat, we're not burning power poles. Man. So, I just hope that the amount of steel produced will be enough to satisfy this array. I'm going to do it like that. I don't know if it's ever going to be necessary, but there we go. I just hope that I won't be needing more than that, because it would be a serious pain to produce more than that. Even though I could increase my outputs by using better furnaces. We could do that. Also, I have now electric furnaces available, so I'm not needing the fuel input lines as much anymore. Gotta take that into account as well. Mark II power armor. Ooh, now we're talking business. Military 5. Well, I don't have the immersite to use that yet, so no. Let's research that nuclear locomotive. Sounds cool. Alright. So, we almost have what we need. Let's balance that out. Well, I really want to try out how the electric furnaces will change this, because honestly, it seems to me like the best solution to use bigger furnaces for this. So, also I have the power necessary for that, so I think they're a little bit bigger though, aren't they? Yeah, they are. So we're going to make it look more like this. So that's a way easier system there. Just forgot how easy it can be for me. Like, we're just doing it like that. Boom. It's a lot less trouble. There goes the steel. So they're definitely getting more than enough iron ore into the system there. Oh, the coke is actually a ingredient for the steel. I didn't realize that. So yeah, it's a part of the... Oh well, it's no problem at all. I mean, there is, after all, a belt nearby which can deliver. Well, I have to do it a little bit differently here. It'll work like that. So here. There we are. This way I'll get a few more units of steel down there. I feel like they might be necessary. And besides that, it's a way more efficient system of not using the fossil fuel anymore. So, next up is just... There goes the nuclear power cell. Okay. Finally, I can start building the actual power plant. So, for the power plant, we need to plop down the reactors first. They will be the center of the facility. I want to make sure that there's more than enough room around the reactors, so they will be able to work fine. Next up come the heat exchangers. There will be 12 heat exchangers for every reactor, basically. So we're going to, well, let them live like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, I'm going to make them clustered like that. Hopefully I have the room to sustain that. So 6, 8, 10, and 12. So it's already noticeable that the belt system here could be a problem in the other direction. So let's see. But it's not really terrible if I have to organize a few things. I mean, I could compact that a little bit by spreading them out, not like this, but I don't know. I could also go into this direction. Can I? Well, let's do it like that. Going to spread this one out into that direction here. No, it's wrong side. Like this. No, wait a sec. Turbines run into these directions. If I let it go like that, I can run turbines downwards. Yeah, let's do it like that. Maybe that'll be a little bit too close. Let's see. No. No. Everything's fine. So that's 8, that's 10, that's 12. And I'm going to make it the same over here at this side. There's a lot of creative room on how to build your reactor complex. There's no real rule or anything like that. You just need to make sure that you get the heat into the heat exchangers. That's the most important thing. So that's 6 of them, boys. Why don't I have enough? I should need 48. Yeah, because I dropped down too much here. That's why. I knew that something was off. There we go. So we have here 8 of them down. 10 and 12. Alright. So let's plop down the turbines, but I'm going to need a lot more of those turbines. And I also noticed that my inventory space won't be allowing me to take all these turbines. So let's drop down the first few of them. So we have an output of 250 units of steam per generator. These guys consume 50 units of steam per second, but I've seen a very cool idea of how to do it, and we're going to put liquid storage tanks in between, because, well, I'm going to explain it while I'm building it. It's going to be way easier to understand if I explain it at the proper moments. Okay. I'll rather take some more heat pipe, just in case. I don't know if I'm really going to need it. And I'm going to empty my pockets a little here. And make sure I'll have enough space. But, well, maybe I'll just grab the car, don't I? So, belts I do have enough. But what I don't have enough are the red belts. Pretty sure my car will be enjoying a few red belts as well. So there we go. Drop down a few stacks of ammo back into my inventory. Well, let's drive down there. No, but I need to pick up the stuff I actually came for. So I have now 48 steam turbines in my inventory. It's exactly the amount of steam turbines that I wanted to have to begin with. So the rest of the nuclear setup is quite quickly done, I hope. So my robots are spreading out a little. Oh damn, can't drive through there anymore. There's a power pole in the way. So let's cut the corners here. And drive over there. I'm not sure how many water pumps I'll actually need, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be a lot of them. So let's get through that. We're going to need 84 overall. Divide that by 4, so you'll get 21 on each side. But what I want to do is, I want to, wait a sec. There are connectors here as well, okay. So I want to give every, wait a sec. I want to use a few steam tanks in between. To store some steam of these systems. I'm just wondering how to set it up correctly. Well, we're able to, let's see. It's not going to be like with the steam generator, where I have just two steam turbines on every side. I have 12 of these guys on every side. 12 doesn't distribute evenly on 21, or 21 doesn't distribute evenly on 12. So I have no chance of distributing these guys evenly. I would need more iron to build myself more tanks. Let's pick that up first. I'm a little bit indecisive today on how to build that, actually, because there are so many ways to do it differently. So let's just pick up more iron plates, so I'm able to build a lot of storage tanks here. Oh, they're actually biting the walls, so turns out I have to do something down there. Where was it again? There. Okay. It's pretty important to take care of these little corners as soon as they come up, because if I delay these corners, it'll really bite my behind at some point, because these are the spots where I just get vulnerable, you know. So let's drop down some energy here. just want to make sure that I have here the same amount of power grid distribution to let those laser turrets run evenly. Yeah, some sidetracking. I already feel pretty convinced that I won't be making this. I won't be making it with a nuclear power plant until the end of this episode, because there's again so much up my plate here. So many little things we need to do beforehand, but it's okay. It's completely okay. Sometimes good things just need time. So there goes the nuclear locomotive. Awesome. Let's give those guys a little bit more ammo, because they should be working with something. There we go. Okay. So I'm out of cliff explosives. I have to change something about that as well. Alright. So let's start with the heat pipes. I'm going to drop down the heat pipings here. There we go. So these are the roads where the heat out of the nuclear reactors will travel through and power up the heat exchangers. The heat exchangers get water from outside and turn it into steam. It's a pretty simple setup, honestly. So let's research the effect transmission. Why not? Okay, just like I thought, the heat pipes are not enough. Okay. So overall, we're producing a lot of steam here. I really wonder how we're going to do that. I mean, basically, I could just set it up like this. Let's try that. I don't know if this layout will work out that I have here in mind, but we're going to see. So I'm going to turn these around. Not sure if they'll get heat when they're connected like this. Maybe I have. No, it looks like I have to connect them the other way around. But the basic plan is quite easily perceivable at this point, I think. I want to feed these tanks with as much steam as possible. So we're going to make it like this. Go. There's a heat pipe in the way. I forgot a few, huh? Okay. And we're going to do the same thing here on this side. Just like that. Okay. I don't know if I really need to connect them with each other. I don't think I do. But what I do need is to connect them with the actual connectors. So there goes. Okay. Let's do the same thing for the other side as well. just let that run through here and connect the steam engines. To explain it a little bit what I'm doing here, or overall, the generators work like this. A nuclear generator produces 250 megawatt on its own. And for every neighbor, it gets an extra bonus. So basically, the more generators you have arranged next to each other, the more power bonus they get. So this also alters and changes the way how to set these guys up. But overall, that's just the basics behind that. And a 2-on-2 array brings a lot of energy, I hope. I just hope that Krastorio doesn't have too many different interactions with nuclear power compared to the vanilla game, because my whole experiences, my whole stuff I read up was for vanilla and not for Krastorio, and I can't really tell if there's something fundamentally different here, but we're going to find that out. One more thing I want to have are the yellow belts. Well, maybe not that many. Whatever. Let's drop some iron ore while we're running back. Somewhere where people are actually interested about that. This looks like a good place for iron ore. And there's a little bit of stone in my inventory, but that's okay. Alright. Let's get back to this. All I need to do next is to arrange the steam, the turbines. So I feel like a smarter approach would be to go like this. And I mean, I could try to arrange all of these 40, like what it's 83, like 44 on this side and the rest on that side. Let's try that. So I have now 84 turbines in my pocket. We're going to connect them with the tanks here. And that's already it. There's nothing more to it. We're converting the water to steam, and that steam is getting used here. So how many are left? 20, 30, 40, 48. We're going to have 46 now, 45, 44. So that's that. Effect transmission completed. Let's go for the additional electric engine. And I just noticed that I have a way better feeling if I actually connect these complexes with each other. Just because it'll spread the steam between them better, I hope. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. So, we're almost there. We're just mirroring what we did before. And last but not least, there will be the necessity of setting up a recycling plant for the used up power cells. So there goes. Well, how many are these now? 81. That's 42 on the side. Doesn't really matter at that point. Okay. So I'm going to finish this cluster in the next episode because there are just too many little things still left to do. So I don't want to disrupt the flow of this playthrough. So I just hope you guys enjoyed the tour so far, and feel free to drop me a comment down below if you have any ideas on your mind or whatever. I like to hear from you. Feel free to drop me a like or a subscription if you haven't done so before. I would be super happy about that, and see you guys next time. Goodbye.